Now at 10, tragedy in Oklahoma after 6 students are killed in a collision with a semi-truck. Plus, authorities charge a suspect who was shot by Joplin police over the weekend. And a local fire protection district is asking to raise taxes to increase staffing and provide better coverage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A southern Oklahoma high school and community are grieving tonight as they learn that 6 students have died in a crash. This is KOAM News at 10. The 6 students were in a car that collided with a semi-truck on U.S. Highway 377 near Tishomingo, Oklahoma this afternoon. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol did not have details of the collision or the exact ages of the students, but says all 6 victims were female. Tishomingo Public School Superintendent Bobby Waitman said in a Facebook post that the district had a great loss involving students from the district's high school and that, quote, "our hearts are broken." The district made counselors available at the high school tonight and said the school would be open tomorrow with a focus on the emotional well-being of our students. Carl Junction woman has died from injuries suffered in a crash Sunday morning. Joplin police say the crash happened on State Highway 171 and North St. Louis Avenue. 48-year-old Rebecca McAllister was driving west when the vehicle left the road and struck a stoplight pole. McAllister died at a local hospital. Authorities have released the identity of a man shot by Joplin police over the weekend, and they've filed charges against that man. 34-year-old Michael Yarga of Joplin is charged with third-degree assault and resisting arrest. The incident happened Saturday. Police say an officer made contact with 3 people near 9th and Connor when one man ran and the officer chased after him. Authorities say Yarga stopped a few blocks away and assaulted the officer. A second officer then shot Yarga. The injured officer was treated and released. Yarga is still in the hospital. The Missouri Highway Patrol is investigating that shooting. A second person is arrested in connection with the shooting death of a 15-year-old Chanute, Kansas teen. Police were called to the 200 block of Walnut where they found Nasha Gregory with a gunshot wound on March 13th. She died at a hospital. Now, according to court documents, 20-year-old Mackenzie Steves of Topeka is charged with endangering the welfare of a child, contributing to a child's misconduct, and interference with law enforcement in that case. Steves was arrested in Coffeyville. Steves' co-defendant, 19-year-old Trevin Hayes Smith, is already in custody, charged with involuntary manslaughter, aggravated child endangerment, contributing to a child's misconduct, and interference with law enforcement. Both will be in court this week for their first appearance. Police in Parsons, Kansas are searching for this man, a man they say tried to kill a man. In a news release today, authorities announced they're looking for David Young III. They say Young got into a fight with Tyron Mayweathers of Kansas City in front of a Parsons bar and shot Mayweathers. First responders found Mayweathers with multiple gunshot wounds and rushed him to the hospital where he is still receiving care. Young is wanted for attempted second-degree murder and criminal possession of a firearm by a felon. Police believe he has left the area. A Kansas City man has died from injuries suffered in a Joplin fire last week. Fire crews were called last Thursday to a fire at this old warehouse on the 1400 block of South Virginia. 2 people were taken to the hospital with burns. 50-year-old Aaron Simons has died from his injuries. The Joplin Fire Marshal has ruled the fire accidental due to occupants grinding metal near combustible materials. Check in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
Another cloudy day now as a slow storm system continues to take its time passing on through. However, we did manage to briefly turn mild today, but after not a big jump in temperatures. 51 this morning at Joplin Regional and 60 degrees was the official high for today. We are done with any thunderstorm chances with this storm system, but on the backside of this, we've got more moisture being pulled in. This is resulting in some areas of drizzle, certainly some scattered showers for parts of southwest Missouri and a good portion of Kansas and northeast Oklahoma. But any severe weather with this storm system, fortunately for us, is still working across parts of southern Alabama and working into the Florida Panhandle. Around here, we've got dropping temperatures knocking on the door, between 40 and 45 degrees as these numbers continue to drop. Any rain chances we have might mix in with a few snowflakes, but it's not a big deal. But this sets the stage for periods of showers and drizzle down for tomorrow with highs only in the lower 40s. We'll break down when this system will finally clear out here in a bit.
The National Weather Service says last night an EF2 tornado tore through the Kingston, Oklahoma area and parts of Texas near Texoma. A preliminary report estimates top wind speeds reached up to 115 miles per hour. Officials in the Kingston area say several people were injured and one person in Marshall County, Texas was killed in that storm. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt today surveyed the damage.
There's going to be community support, there's going to be state support, there's going to be county support, so we'll do whatever we can to help those folks rebuild.
The Red Cross opened a shelter at Kingston High School for people affected by the tornado. The burial of an eastern Missouri police officer is planned for the Carthage area this coming weekend, and once again, the 4 states will honor a fallen officer with a procession. Officer Lane Burns was killed last week in a shootout with a suspect in Bonne Terre, Missouri. Now his burial is scheduled for this coming Sunday in his hometown of Carthage. A funeral procession will travel through Carthage around 1 Sunday afternoon prior to burial at 2 p.m. at the Harvey Cemetery in Carthage. The 30-year-old officer was born in Carthage and was a graduate of the Carthage High School class of 2009. He leaves 2 children. You can find more information on the procession route through Carthage at KOAMnewsnow.com. Election Day is 2 weeks away, and some voters will decide on a tax increase for Tri-Cities Fire Protection District. That district covers the Missouri towns of Alba, Purcell, Neck City, Cottsville, and Galesburg. Officials are asking for an additional tax levy of 30 cents to hire another full-time firefighter to cover 24-hour shifts for a total of 3. Currently, 15 volunteer firefighters help the station.
I mean, it's the world's tough right now. We all know it. You know, the prices in town of everything has went higher. So to ask for taxes, you know, we don't like it any more than the people we're trying to sell it to. But it's vital for us to have this to be able to get career guys.
This Saturday, the fire district is hosting an open house at Station 1 from 4 to 6 p.m. Coming up, the Vernon County Historical Society hosts a gala and auction to support a local museum. Plus, we're going to learn about a class offered by Joplin's Franklin Technology Center, giving students the tools they need to make their own short film. Folks in Vernon County, Missouri tonight helped raise money for a local museum. The Vernon County Historical Society hosted its annual Night for the Museum Gala. It featured a meal, music from the Nevada High School Show Choir, and an auction of donated items. The money raised from the event will go to the Bushwhacker Museum in Nevada.
Feels great. Like I said, it's great being back doing this. So exciting, seeing all these people coming out, having fun, being safe, and sharing a good meal. And it's the camaraderie and the fellowship of a community that we've kind of lost the last couple years.
The theme for this year's gala was A League of Their Own, 1940s women's baseball. As part of that theme, the meal was based around ballpark foods. Some local elementary students today built a city of their own. 4th graders at Pittsburgh's Lakeside Elementary spent 3 months researching for their Just Imagine Kansas project. Students researched Kansas-based businesses to bring life to their new city. Some local businesses donated products to the students to make their presentations more official, and the Chamber of Commerce even hosted a ribbon cutting. KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so today we're continuing a program where we air stories shot, written, and edited by local students. Today's story comes from Joplin High School. Reporter Kennedy Dury shows us how the Franklin Technology Center is giving local students a taste of Hollywood filmmaking.
Joplin students are getting a slight taste of Hollywood filmmaking. David Smith teaches the film class at Franklin Technology Center and talks about how this project got started.
I had my film class propose some ideas. Everybody came up with their own idea for a film. just a short synopsis of what their story would be about. We had them pitch those to us in class. We all read them and talked about them, and we came up with one.
A couple weeks were spent crunching the idea to make it perfect. So the million-dollar question is, what did they come up with?
It's actually more of a story about a friendship with a supernatural element to it. A young woman who is very alone. She's just lost her parents, but she loves to paint. She's a wonderful artist, and her whole life she's been painting a particular person. As she has grown from a little girl, this character has grown with her in her paintings. We find that this young girl that she's painted in the picture has come to life.
One of the life lessons taught in this class is teamwork, and a film doesn't happen without it.
We're limited by the number of students that we have, so everybody has to wear a lot of different hats. Everything that we're doing from scratch. So it is quite a massive undertaking, and it's going to take quite a bit of work to get it done.
Not many students have the opportunity in high school to take a film class. Some would have to travel away and take it in college. This class offers a Hollywood experience, but in Joplin.
This is a full story from start to finish, a short film, where we actually work with every student to make them a part of a film crew, like they would actually be if they were working on a Hollywood film or if they were working on an independent film. All of the things that come together to be on a movie set and a movie crew, we're putting them in there. So they will have actual real-world hands-on experience in making a film.
The JHS film class will be working on this short film for the next couple months, so stay tuned for a release date. Reporting for JHD, this is Kennedy Dury.
Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Kennedy Dury for that report. Hey, if you take blood pressure medication, listen up. Pfizer is voluntarily recalling its blood pressure drug Acuratech because there's too much of a particular impurity called nitrosamines. They're common in water and food like cured and grilled meats, dairy, and vegetables, but they could increase the risk of cancer if they're exposed to too much for too long. There haven't been reports of anything happening to people who've taken this medication, but Pfizer is recalling it just in case. It was more difficult for teens to quit smoking in 2020, it seems. A study found more teens unsuccessfully tried to quit smoking that year than in each of the previous 13 years. Researchers looked at surveys of more than 815,000 teens. Questions about cigarettes were asked every year, but questions about e-cigarettes were added in 2020. The study found in 2020 nearly 6% of adolescents reported an unsuccessful attempt at quitting either cigarettes or e-cigarettes. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Pitt State football team as they hit the field for their first spring practice.
But first, our current storm system keeps us cloudy and cool with some more rain chances to contend with, but just for the next few days. Forecast next. We did not have to deal with moderate to heavy pockets of rain today, but we kept with the rain chances in the cloudy skies, and it's starting to settle back now to areas of drizzle, which we're seeing trying to coat the lens from our live shot of indigo sky outside of Seneca, Missouri. Despite all of that, and despite the continued mostly cloudy skies with the slow-moving and stubborn storm system, we did briefly turn mild today, just like yesterday. Around the noon hour, we had highs in the lower 60s, stayed in the 50s for a good stretch of yesterday evening through this morning, back near 60 this afternoon, before we did right back into the 50s as we got on the backside of the storm system. Before we did, though, as Doug pointed out the other night, a very weak boundary at the surface passed on through, sparked some scattered showers along that boundary, mainly in southwestern Missouri and northwest Arkansas, but fortunately nothing too strong, certainly thankful, and nothing severe came out of that. But light amounts of rain still added up for a good number of us, especially on the Missouri side, but the area-wide average from today's rain alone is just over ½ an inch, and that's on top of the ½ an inch to 2 inches of rain that we got from yesterday's periods of moderate to heavy rain and certainly thunderstorms then. But now we're dealing with the backside of the system with cooler temperatures rolling in. Not seeing anything wintry on the radar right now, but as long as that moisture keeps coming on in, we're going to hold on to areas of drizzle and light showers scattered in nature as we go throughout the course of the night. Even at 7th and Range Line, we have a little bit of drizzle, if not light rain, trying to coat the lens on the east side of Joplin, but nothing too terrible outside. 44 in Joplin, Westwind at 14. is bringing a bit of a bite to the air, making it feel like 37 degrees. We have some upper 30s already around Iola and Yates Center. Everybody else in the lower to middle 40s. We're all going to take a dip into the middle to upper 30s tonight. So while we have to deal with that, unfortunately our neighbors to the southeast of us, across southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle, they're dealing with what's left of the severe threat that has brought havoc across parts of the southern U.S. over the past few days alone. But for us, again, no severe weather worries. We just have moisture on the backside of this system that's going to stick around for a few more days. But then this upper level low will move out. Then that upper ridge out west, that's going to treat us to a nice, brighter, and warmer weekend that will certainly savor. So the backside of the system continues to pull in the moisture, keeping light showers scattered in nature and some drizzle around. But just where it gets cold enough in a couple of spots, you can see some blips of pink trying to pop up. Maybe a few snowflakes trying to mix in, but this is not looking like a big deal. Doug and I have been looking at this for the past few days. We're mainly going to see rain showers out of this and areas of drizzle throughout the day tomorrow. And if I can get the planner to pop up, it won't do that, but we'll say lower 40s for tomorrow. Quick look at tomorrow night and Thursday morning. Maybe another quick shot of rain, maybe a few snowflakes mixing in. Then once we get past Thursday afternoon, all of this will finally move on out. Not much in the way of additional rainfall, about a tenth to a half an inch of rain. Then heading toward the weekend, we turn brighter, we turn drier, and nice temperatures returning too. 42 tomorrow, 47 on Thursday. We're near 60 Friday and Saturday, mid 60s on Sunday. Then going into early next week now, we'll start dry with highs around 73, then sticking with Doug's pattern. We'll watch for another strong system by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
The ground is soggy at the moment. It'd be nice to dry out for a few days come this weekend.
Yeah, we just got to be a little more patient, and we'll do just that this weekend.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear from the Pitt State football team as they hit the field for the first time this spring. Plus, Player of the Year honors for Galena senior Brett Sarwinski. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Today is the opening day of spring practice for Pittsburgh State football. The Gorillas have 14 practices scheduled in the next few weeks before playing their annual spring game on April 15th. Pittsburgh State finished 8-3 overall last fall. It was good for 4th in the MIAA. The Gorillas returned 8 offensive guys and 7 on defense, who started at least 5 games last season. We're going to talk about the defense. They have All-American linebacker P.J. Sarwinski returning, and other great players like All-MIAA selection Zeke Wall, Luke Jennings, Brandon Malikas, and Alex Gaskill, to name a few. But they do lose All-American Dallas Flowers and All-Conference guys Caden Roy and Jordan Hindy. So there will be some big shoes to fill on that side of the ball.
You know, I got guys like Keandre Hall, they're going to step up. I know Nate Woods, a local Pittsburgh guy. I'm fortunate to be with the guys, whoever it's going to be, and we're going to be good.
That's the fun part of having spring practice, is getting to see some of those guys, that next group of guys to step into leadership roles or starting roles, or guys that were freshmen that just showed up last fall, and see them step up and make some plays this spring. So excited to evaluate our whole football team this year in that aspect.
Spring training action today, Cardinals facing the Marlins. 4th inning here, Paul Goldschmidt drives it to left. One hops over the wall for the ground rule double. Goldschmidt goes 1 for 3 today. Just 2 batters later, Nolan Arenado lifts it to left center, clears the wall for the 2-run home run. St. Louis goes up 3-0 with that. Brendan Donovan would also homer later for the Cards. They win today 4-3. Cardinals now 4-0 to begin spring training. In other spring training action today, Royals facing the Oakland A's. That was all Oakland early. Austin Allen, 2-run home run there, puts them up 3-0. But here comes Kansas City in the 6th. Royals' top prospect, Bobby Witt, hammers a 2-run homer off Austin Pruitt. He goes 1 for 3. Royals rally by the A's tonight, 5-3. Galena's Brett Sarwinski is the Sports in Kansas 3A Boys Basketball Player of the Year. It's the 2nd straight season Sarwinski has earned that honor. Now, the senior guard, he was good all year for the Bulldogs. Sarwinski posted 19.5 points and 7 rebounds per game. He also dished out 4 assists per night. Sarwinski helped Galena make 3 straight appearances in the 3A state tournament, including 2 Final Fours. And he leaves the school as the program's all-time leading scorer. Now here's his coach on what makes Sarwinski one of the best to ever do it for Galena.
He's the kid that's always, ever since, 7th and 8th grade, watching him play, that he always put in the hard work outside of practice. I mean, he'd be up here at night. His dad bring him up to the gym and he'd get extra shots up. He'd stay after practice and get extra shots up. All of that will lead him to be the all-time points leader, to get the respect of the people around the state.
The support around here is just crazy, from the community and everything. It means a lot to me. It really does. When I play the game and people are always behind me, it just helps me stay locked in and know I'm playing for them.
Finally, it's not Pitt State or Missouri Southern, but we're all MIAA fans, right? Northwest Missouri State facing the Bentley Falcons in the Elite Eight today. Northwest rolls 61-43. Trevor Hudgens scores a team-high 24. Northwest now moves on to play in the national semifinals on Thursday against Black Hills State. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Edwin King served in the U.S. Army from 1943 to 1945. The Mulberry, Kansas native was stationed in Europe, and we salute Private First Class Edwin King, a four-state hero. Scientists say they've discovered a new form of ice that could exist on a distant planet. A research team at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas made the discovery and shared their findings in a recently published study. They call the ice formation Ice 7T. It was discovered using high pressure on freezing water until it reached a tetragonal phase. That's when the frozen water molecules form a powder-like collection of tiny crystals. Of course, you knew that already. The scientists say the conditions to create this ice would be really hard to find on Earth's surface, but it could be seen on water-rich planets outside of our solar system.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, not something you'd be putting in your drink as they did there, but
yeah,
it's interesting. No ice exactly in the forecast.
No,
water.
Maybe a few snowflakes a couple of times late tonight and maybe Thursday morning, but just continue scattered showers. 42 tomorrow, 47 on Thursday, then finally on schedule. We'll dry out for the weekend.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, morning show 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.